we want to take some time to talk about Utah State gymnastics. Well, they opened their season already. They had their season opener at the University of Utah. They have their home opener coming up this week, this Friday, against nationally ranked Southern Utah. And head coach Kristin White joins us now here on the Full Court Press. Coach, thanks for your time today.
Hi, thank you guys. How are you?
We're doing pretty good. Always ready for the start of gymnastics season. I always try and make it to as many meets as I can within the busy schedule because I know they're absolutely a lot of fun, especially here at Utah State.
Yes, we're really excited to be at home this Friday.
So I guess before we, maybe dive too far into any of this, I did have one question I wanted to ask out of curiosity. Just by every time we've talked to some of the head coaches, I want to ask about this, and that is Utah State's pending move to the Pac-12. Just wanted to get your thoughts. I know you guys haven't been in the Mountain West for most of your tenure. I know last year was the inaugural season, but what does it kind of mean to the program to move into the Pac-12?
Yeah, definitely really excited. I mean, being a part of the Mountain West last year and this season and next season is still really exciting for us, but being a part of the Pac-12 is just going to be really great for our future, especially in gymnastics. The Pac-12 has a long history of success with their gymnastics programs. And so it's going to be great to fall under, their umbrella and continue to chase championships with the Pac-12. So I'm really excited about it. We currently only have 3 teams in the Pac-12 right now with gymnastics. It would be Utah State, Boise State, and then obviously Oregon State would be a part of that. So we're still kind of waiting for some things to shuffle out with the Pac-12, and we'll figure out what gymnastics is going to look like for them. But we're definitely really excited to be a part of the Pac-12 in the future.
Coach, you've had the opportunity to get your competitive season underway. You guys went to the Salt Lake and competed against the University of Utah. It's always a tough team to go up against, but it's a great way to kind of set the bar really for what you want to accomplish for this year. Seeing great athletes in a venue which is historically very good as well. What did you learn about your team in that opening match that you guys had down at Utah, the Huntsman Center?
Yeah, so I was really excited to get season kicked off this year. I feel like this is the most prepared our team has ever been since I've been here at Utah State. And so I was really excited. We had great momentum and great energy in our warm-up, and we started really strong on bars. We did have a mistake in our lineup from a veteran, but the most exciting part about that was we had a freshman anchoring the lineup. Never competed college gymnastics before, competing in the Huntsman in front of I think they had about 11,000 people there. Like, that is nerve-wracking, right? And she hit a routine, and that's when we needed it the most. And so I was really excited to see how well our freshmen competed. They were in 9 of our 24 lineup spots, which is just over a third of our lineup. So definitely really excited to see how well they handled the pressure. I was a little bit disappointed in our vault and floor performance because I feel like that's an area where we made a lot of improvement in the off season. We had an uncharacteristic mistake in that first vault spot by Brianna Brooks. Never seen her do that before. So I think that rattled a little bit of everybody's nerves, including coaching staff, because when you have an athlete that is so consistent and does the same thing every single day, it's a little scary when they make a mistake like that, right? And so I think it rattled us just a little bit. I think we rushed a little bit in terms of our gymnastics, and some of our scores were a little bit lower than I think we were expecting them to be, and I think that just kind of messed with our mental game a little bit. I was definitely proud of the way that they finished the beam lineup, but it definitely showed me that we are ready. We didn't walk into that competition looking like we were unprepared. I think a lot of it was just first meet nerves that got to us just a little bit. So really eager to get back into the spectrum this weekend and have a great competition.
So tell me about some of the athletes that you're expecting to make big contributions this year. You talk about being the most prepared you've been. I know Brianna Brooks is kind of the name that we all tend to know. Really great all-around performer, performed at regionals last year, NCAA regionals. But who are some of these other athletes that you've got coming in that have made this team prepared in potentially a run for a Mountain West title?
Absolutely. So our 3 freshmen, Kaylee Medrano, who's from Buckeye, Arizona, she currently is doing the all-around for us, which is amazing as a freshman. She is a powerhouse. She's got this little, edge to her. You never really know, is she happy? Is she sad? She's just this even keel athlete 24/7. And so I love that about her. Our other freshman, Olivia Orengo from Minnesota, she's coming in and doing 3 events for us. And she comes from an incredible program, a club team called TCT up in Minnesota. And we've got several athletes. Olivia Ostendorf, who just graduated last year, was from the same program. Jenna Eagles, who's on our team, is from the same program. And so really excited to have her because that team really prepares their athletes to be ready for college gymnastics. And so I think that's why we've seen Olivia transition so well. And then we obviously have our local girl from Salt Lake City, London Vandertulen, who was one of the top recruits in her recruiting class. She's a phenomenal athlete. She's currently doing vault and bars for us right now. I do believe that we'll see her start to add more events as season goes on. She had a little bit of an illness during the preseason, was out for a while, but she's getting stronger every day and has been breaking into those lineups. So I definitely think that we'll see her on beam and floor in the future. And then, honestly, our sophomore class last year as freshmen, they struggled a little bit and weren't able to make a ton of lineups for us. And they've done a phenomenal job being prepared. Sydney Gillen is doing 2 events for us. She's also got a great floor team that might, come and show us an exhibition spot here real soon. Nyla Morabito crushing it on vault and floor again. Isabella Votter, who really inconsistently competed beam and floor for us last year. She's also training the all-around. So, our young ones have really stepped up in this off-season and over the summer and worked really hard to be prepared this year. So I'm really excited for them.
Coach, we talked about transfer portal and how that affects teams. And I know football and men's basketball get a lot of attention with that. But how is it affecting you and how you put your roster together or keep your roster together?
Yeah, so, 5 years ago in the sport of gymnastics, it was very rare to see as many athletes transfer as what we're seeing today, right? It happened, but not a lot. And so it really started kicking off the summer that I got hired here at Utah State was when it started to really become a big thing. And it continues to grow every year. I feel very blessed and fortunate that since I've been here at Utah State, we have not had anybody transfer out of our program, which is really exciting. I think that we create a great atmosphere for them. We really listen to them as athletes, and I think that's been something that's been really successful for us. Obviously, moving into the future with house settlement and different things like that, it could get a little bit harder. We start to have caps on our sports that are going to start happening in the fall, and with gymnastics, you cannot have more than 20 athletes on your team. And so for us, I feel grateful that we're not in the position where we'll have to cut people because I like a little bit of a smaller roster, and that keeps us under 20. But, definitely, I think our athletes love Cache Valley. They love being here. They love performing in front of our fans. And I truly think that it is, home away from home from them. And I think that's what's made it so successful for us to, one, retain our athletes, which is the most important thing. If I bring them here to Utah State, I want them to graduate as Aggies.
I wanted to ask, when you look at this season, what's kind of the personification of the goals that you're looking for? Because I know there is a win-loss record, but that's not always the best indication in the sport of gymnastics as far as how good a team actually is. It tends to be more about what your average score and whatnot is. But what are kind of the goals you want to see from this team? Maybe aside from the obvious ones like winning a conference championship or getting players to regionals and whatnot.
Yeah, so definitely we want to compete more consistently. That is one thing that we struggled with a little bit last year. We'd have moments of absolute greatness, and then we'd have moments where we struggled really bad. And so that's really the biggest goal, is maintaining consistency, getting better every single competition that we get the opportunity to grow and increase our score. That's what we want to do. We want to build off every weekend. And so for us, that's obviously the biggest goal. Because that consistency, if we can maintain that, that's going to help us win a conference championship. That's going to get our entire team to regionals, not just individuals to regionals. we want this place to be extremely competitive, and we want to get back to, the NCAA postseason. And so those are definitely goals that we have. Those are the ones that we're focusing on. But really just increasing our competitiveness every single weekend is definitely one of the biggest things we're focusing on this year.
Again, we're talking to Kristin White. She is the head coach for Utah State Gymnastics, and season got underway last week. You got a home game, home meet coming up on Friday. Southern Utah coming in, and just looking at your schedule, you'll get a chance to compete again against Southern Utah and Utah coming up next. I guess in about 10 or 11 days. But that's kind of interesting with the Best of Utah event coming up. You get to compete against some clubs you've already competed against.
Yeah, no, we're definitely excited. The Best of Utah event is a great event that we've been fortunate to be a part of, for the last 5 years. And it's on podium, which is really exciting for our athletes. One, competing on podium, it's just safer for their bodies. They're not taking that impact on like a hard concrete floor. And so we're excited about that opportunity. We're excited that we get to compete in an arena that feels like, a conference championship, a regional championship, or even a national championship being up there. And so we're excited about that opportunity. Obviously, we have Southern Utah coming in this weekend. Both of us are currently ranked week 1. Utah State's currently sitting at number 24 in the country. So it'll be a great meet. Both of us had some mistakes last week that I know both teams are going to want to correct immediately on Friday night. So I really do think it's a great opportunity for fans to come out and get to watch our program and, support the Aggies.
Well, I just wanted to follow up with that. I mean, you've got the home opportunity this Friday with Southern Utah, but you've got Best of Utah after that. Then you got some conference games. It's going to be a while before you're back in Logan, not until early February. So if folks want to see your squad this year, they need to come out on Friday to check you guys out.
Absolutely. We only have 4 opportunities this year in Logan, so definitely an event that people don't want to miss. I truly believe that it's one of the funnest events that happens on a Friday night here in Logan. We've got a DJ that plays music. We've got a lot of great activities for the kids, and it's just a fun environment. It's a little bit different than every other sport, and I truly believe that when families come, they get hooked on our sport and they love coming back. And so I'm really excited to kick it off this Friday. Definitely looking forward to continuing to grow our attendance and just give fans something to be really proud of.
I've found gymnastics meets tend to be the most underrated of sporting events. Really, really fun events.
Yeah, there's like always something going on.
Yeah. I do want to ask, though, because wasn't Southern Utah in the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference, or am I misremembering that?
So they were, and then when we had the conference realignment, Utah State moved into the Mountain West, and then Southern Utah joined the MPSF as an affiliate. So they're currently with the MPSF. The Mountain Rim Conference actually has dissolved since some of this conference realignment. It'll get a little interesting to see what happens now that the Pac-12 is starting to form again. I don't know what that's going to mean for the Pac-12 or the Mountain West or the MPSF. So there's going to still be quite a bit of change over the next year.
Conference realignment impacting us all.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. What can you tell us about that Southern Utah group that will be here on Friday competing against you?
Yeah, so they had an incredible freshman class last year that did a lot for them. They were super young, and they had some great competitive success. And so I think they're eager to continue to build on that. They've got even, more freshmen that have come and joined their team. And so they come in, they're always competitive. It doesn't matter what meet they're in, who they're going against. Like, they show up and they're ready to go. And we've got to be ready to go if we want to come home with that win and also come home with a great score that's going to help continue to boost us, through the rankings and ultimately qualify to the NCAA regionals.
I wanted to ask, we touched on Brianna Brooks a couple of times, but I wanted to ask specifically, what this season means for her and what she's looking to accomplish. Because, last year was obviously her biggest year, and she set a bunch of records competing in all around, competing in, I forgot, it was the bars at regional, if I remember right. Yeah. But what's this kind of season looking for her as far as, taking an even bigger step this season with Utah State?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things of wanting to come back with the opportunity she had for her 5th year was she knew that we were going to have a really strong freshman class coming in. And I think she wanted to be a part of that. She wanted to help lead them and guide them so that, they can continue to be successful for the next 4 years. The leadership that Brianna brings to our team is undescribable, to be honest with you. Like, every athlete on our team trusts her with absolutely anything, and we can count on her 100%. So I think for her, she really just wants to enjoy the moment. She wants to win, and she wants to be able to put her best gymnastics out on the floor every single night so that she can continue to reach, her own individual goals, which is obviously, winning individually, qualifying to regionals. I think she would love to qualify to the national championship as an individual. She's gotten so close the last 2 years. Honestly, she was in first place both years, but she lost the tiebreaker to qualify to the national championships. And so I think she's just hungry to do that. And, first and foremost, she knows that any individual award that she ever wins is going to be a reflection on how well the team performs. And for her, it's always team first, whatever she can do to support the team. If that means competing the all-around because she's needed, she's going to give 100%. If that means only competing 3 events because our depth is a little bit better than maybe her weakest event, then she's all in. Like, she wants to do whatever is best for this team and this program. And so I think, that's the best quality that she has, is she's just an all-around team player. And I appreciate everything that she has done for this program because she has definitely left her mark.
Coach, before we let you go, you've been at this now for a couple of seasons, and I just was curious about you and just in your coaching staff and how you feel kind of your group at the coaching level, how you guys have grown or evolved as your in your roles to help this team improve individually and as a collective unit.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is that we've maintained consistency in our staff. Some of the best programs in the country, I truly believe that they become the best programs in their country because their coaching staff is cohesive and they stick together. And I feel very fortunate for that. We've had some opportunities where people have come calling, asking about some of our coaches. And, I'm just very thankful every day that they continue to choose to be Aggies because they believe in this program and where we started. Like, they absolutely want to see it continue to grow and get better every single year. So we've definitely learned a lot over the last 3 years. We've learned, some things that we were doing weren't really working, and we had to make some changes to make it better. So I feel blessed to work with them every single day. They make me a better person and a better coach, and we just got a good little group going on. So definitely want to keep plugging along and trying to reach those goals this season.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time with us, and best of luck on Friday. Again, it starts at 7 o'clock in the Spectrum. Hope they have a great Aggie crowd there. We got 2 ranked teams squaring off against each other. That's always fun and exciting, and it's an in-state school, so even added measure of interest and rivalry, if you will. So hopefully we get a good crowd there. Cheer you guys on Friday night.
Yeah, I look forward to it. And thanks again for having me on. I hope to see you guys in the stands on Friday night. And I would love to catch up with you a little bit later on in the season and check in and see how these ladies are performing.
Definitely. We'll look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Coach.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Best of luck on Friday.
You're welcome. Have a great week. Bye.
That's Coach Kristin White, the head coach of the Utah State Gymnastics program, squaring off against number 18 Southern Utah Friday at 7 o'clock. Aggies are ranked as well, so you got 2 ranked opponents squaring off with a lot of great athletes competing in various different events on the floor of the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum.